Hi guys, I'm going to talk to you about steroids. Basically, steroids do have some positive effects, but there's also the positives outweigh the negatives outweigh the positives. So some of the positives are increased lean muscle definition, strength. You can become heavier with it, so you can increase in better performance in your sport. You got increased aggressiveness, which in some sense, if it was maybe boxing, you could get really aggressive to the other guy and have a bit of advantage over that. But then again, there's loads of disadvantages, negative effects. One of them is water retention, which means that when you're injecting yourself all the time, your body's trying to fight off all this steroids abuse and everything, and your muscles are going a bit haywire. Don't know what to do with all this stuff. So water retention happens, therefore you get increased weight, and then your joints start hurting. So by having that joints hurting, then you're starting getting erosion away on your bones, and also aching joints, muscle tears, you get acne, bad breath. It's not too bad, but compared to the others, but you get quite a few negative effects. Specific ones for men, you can see this guy here use steroids. He's got lean muscle definition, but then slowly but surely, as he's using it more and more, the negative side effects of acne take place. And also, some steroids like Winstrol or Deca, they have estrogen inside them. So if you keep going through them for loads of cycles, then you start to produce breasts. And then it lowers your testosterone, so then your testicles become smaller. That's why the myth is, whenever you take steroids, you get a smaller penis. It's not that. It's just lower testosterone, so you just have more estrogen, so you start becoming more like a woman in that sense. Specific dangers for women. If you carry on using steroids, you can get increased clitoris, and there are some pictures that they're the size of a walnut, massive. Decrease in breast size. I know it sounds odd being a woman and having estrogen, you would think it'll get bigger, but decreased. And it's irreversible, the clitoris, so once it's big, unlucky for you, you'll be stimulated a lot, but I don't know if you want that. Osteoporosis, you increase your chances of contracting it. Moving swiftly on. And this is the whole body of the ones, or the negative side effects. And the problems that are in men are highlighted in the brownie colour, and the ones that both affect men and women are highlighted in white. As you can see, it just goes through all of the body. So anything that you take as steroids, it's just going to get you. Some athletes using steroids, these are only a handful, many of them have used them, like Barry Jones, Tim Montgomery. Marion Jones, she was a previous world champion on the track, but as soon as you take steroids or any ergogenic aids, then they get all those medals and everything gets stripped off you. So then you're back at square one, and you won't be able to allow to compete again in the Olympics. Balco was a company, before all the legislation came into place, started to get athletes and give them steroids and performance enhancements. And then as the security tightened up on using steroids, Balco slowly got kicked out and then became banned. And so anybody using those kind of aids to get one up on the opposition gets banned, and their medals get stripped off them. This man here is called Greg Valentino, and what he used, he had the biggest biceps in the world. His biceps were big, like huge, but because he kept on injecting himself with steroids so much in the arms, they got to a point where they were just at its maximum and they couldn't grow any further. And what happens, he just slowly but surely, they exploded, and then he nearly died because he had to start taking all the fluids out of his biceps and all the toxins before it reaches properly into his liver, and then have liver failure. There's a little video I'm going to show you. answer. There were those technical difficulties.
Make it small.
Your fault, Dan.
Just make it small. Alright.
Get it even bigger. Okay, a little bit. Yeah, I can get it even bigger than this. I can get it even bigger. Okay, a little bit of sweat's coming on now. Boom.
This is a story of the biggest muscles in the world. How they keep getting bigger and why people want them.
This is Luke Skywalker in 1980. And here is Luke Skywalker 16 years later in 1996. Mark Hamill, who played Luke Skywalker, was said to have remarked, "Good God, they've put me on steroids." People say it isn't addictive. It absolutely is absolutely addictive.
Something more satisfying than being the best, and that means taking lots of steroids, lots of tablets. To me, it's perfect.
We all do it, but you gotta go through the back door. Dude, I trained 23 years natural without taking steroids. But when you take steroids, it makes your body more of a machine. You're bigger, you're faster, you're stronger.
It's also about what happens when things go wrong.
Look, it's really fucking gross. It just sinks in like a balloon filled with water.
That's the end of my presentation. Have you got any questions?
How come you know so much about steroids?
I just had an interest in it. I go to the gym and I just wanted to see what they did for the body, and also studying last year in physical education, we studied more about steroids and what they did to the body. So just had a personal interest in them.
Good.